Hiya guys, how's it going? And I've got quite a good video for you today. Hopefully, we're looking at just some of my favourite Marvel Legends from Toy Biz and Hasbro, and we're just sort of having a comparative look. This video did take a hot minute to make, so by the end of it, if you enjoyed it, leave me a like and a comment. I really appreciate that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it and talk about some figures. First thing I'm going to say is one of the purposes of this video is something I come across, quite a lot, and that's that, Hasbro, whose Marvel Legends are absolutely amazing, and Toy Biz never came close or compared. I opt to change some people's minds with that. Now, funny, I was going to include this guy for my Toy Biz Spider-Man, and he is Toy Biz, but he's part of the Spider-Man Classics line, so I can't actually count him, but I will go on record for saying he is my favourite Spider-Man figure. Pretty much that you can get still to this day. I think it is the head sculpt, sorry. It might focus. Forget everybody else out. Yeah, it's just the head sculpt, and there's shading on this Spider-Man. I don't know if my light's showing you really well. Even as the web shooter is painted in there, but still to this day, I think this is incredible. Obviously, the new Spider-Man figure that's coming out, that we just saw from Toy Fair, on the vintage style packaging, looks like it's on the same book as the Superior Octopus. So I mean, that might actually tip it. It might be the best Spider-Man that they ever make. It looks like that at the minute, just the way, just from the pictures I've seen and stuff. Yeah, let's get right into it. Oh, and I was just going to quickly say, I'm not sure if this guy counts as a Marvel Legend. I'm not sure whether they were called Marvel Legends or not. But let's just start. Now, one thing that is always super noticeable between Hasbro's figures and Toy Biz's figures. Let me just adjust my light. Sorry about this, guys. I should have planned this better. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Yeah, straight away you can see, so as your Hasbro on, and this paint, like these lines and stuff, they're I imagine they're painted on or digitally painted on. Whereas with Toy Biz back in the day, I mean, everything was sculpted. His web lines was sculpted. The muscles are more pronounced, as you can see. I don't know why this guy looks orange. He's not orange. It's just the way he's coming across on camera. Any figure here that looks orange, because I've noticed the Spider-Man Homecoming one, Far From Home one does as well. But they're not. It's just a trick of the light. But yeah, it's just completely sculpted, you see. And then they throw in all that extra paint and stuff, which is something I've always loved about Toy Biz. It's pretty much what kept me constantly collecting superhero action figures all my life. So it's like a trade-off, because this thing, it is a well-oiled machine for posability and articulation, and it's definitely got some presence and looks really nice. A lot of people say, like, these Hasbro figures, they look good, but they're soulless. I don't think that's the case. I just think at the time, I don't know what it is. But if you put these next to each other, whoa, don't you dare fall. Spider-Man's drunk today. Yeah, if you just put these two next to each other quick, this one definitely has a lot going for it, the Toy Biz one. Where's my lightsaber? I always point in these videos, you can't actually see where I'm pointing, so... this guy here on this side, the Toy Biz one, if you are following, he's a great figure, and you can definitely tell that a lot of love went into him, but I wouldn't like to say that a lot of love didn't go into this guy as well. Well, do you know what? A lot of love didn't go into this guy because he was a retro wave figure and he was literally just repainted and packaged up without much thought, which is sad. That is a shame. So yeah, maybe the Toy Biz ones, you know, maybe they do have more soul. I don't know. Maybe it was cheaper at the time with materials and stuff. I'm not the most up to date on this stuff, but maybe they could have give you this at a really good price. What would it have been, like 10 to 14 years ago? They could give you this at a price that was comparable to this. So yeah, I just thought I'd say that. So there's your comic Hasbro Marvel Legends figure. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which one you like more. However, I will tell you on this occasion, if it was just out these two Spider-Man figures, I probably would go for the Hasbro one, because it's just all around, it's better proportioned and stuff. One thing that always threw me off about this guy was just how bulbous he looked, with his shoulder, his butterfly joints and stuff. I don't know, he looks quite bulbous, and that's one thing that always threw me off about some of the Toy Biz figures. And before we move on to Iron Man quick, I will quickly just say that if you look at these two, as good as this one is, I actually do prefer this old movie one. I don't know what it is that I like about this. It's just, I think he's one of my oldest Spider-Man figures, so I'm a bit sentimental with this guy, but it's just the way he's sculpted. Let's do this again. There we go. Just like the way he's sculpted and made, just, you'll have to take my word for it that when I got this guy originally, and his paint was all clean and stuff like that, this guy has seen play from me. He's loose as a result of it and stuff, but he was one of my most played with figures, and as you can see, the paint is wearing off on him, but god damn it, like, there isn't an inch of this thing that isn't covered in detail. I don't want to just completely slag him off, because, you know, you can see, like, the textured detail on this figure, but it took Hasbro a while to get to this, to be fair. And actually, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure wasn't actually too bad either. Okay, so next up, we're going to look at Iron Man. Let's just get it out there. It's pretty sad still. We're all still pretty bummed about Iron Man. Right? Said my piece. We can carry on now. Right, so basically, I got this guy a while ago. He didn't come for absolutely ages. He was one of my most anticipated figures of last year. So I was really happy to finally get him, and I've got to say, he just absolutely tops it. I do feel, maybe it's just because of the way the movie figures are designed, but I do feel that Hasbro really do some of their best work on their movie figures. That's not to take away from this guy. You will just notice that with the comic book figures, they generally have like a softer sculpt and things, and it's like you come to like your movie figures and they just look really, really good. It's Iron Man. He was part of the Bro 4 wave. This guy, he was part of that wave, and he's just absolutely phenomenal. It's kind of funny actually, I bought this guy and was sat on a wall watching jets. Don't know why I told you that, but there you go. I really do like this figure. He's not my favourite. If I had to pick one out of these three, it would definitely be this one. I'll briefly just quickly say that when this thing came out, I was amazed by it, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, now it is very dated. His arms are really big and stuff. He doesn't actually scale very well with a lot of the Marvel Legends, whether it be Hasbro or Toy Biz. But I absolutely love this figure. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, or just an action figure fan in general, you know, I think you should definitely own this and the Cap figure. Show where they come from. Also, you could take this guy's mask off the front. There you go, and it had Tony Stark's head under there. That is not a bad likeness, and I commend them for trying stuff like that at the time, because you don't sort of find this anymore, because most companies would worry about this getting lost. But definitely a must-have figure, this Iron Man. I am going to quickly just take him away, though, because I want to put another Iron Man figure in that... Okay, so this is not a Toy Biz figure. This is, like, I think it was the first Hasbro Iron Man they did. One of my favourites, actually. And, ooh, I was literally, sorry about that. Get right back to it. What I was going to say was, I was actually introduced to this figure by Glenn Webb, because I was telling him it was, like, my favourite design. Rest in peace, Glenn Webb. Really good guy he was. Had the pleasure of speaking to him on many occasions, but like, the Neo Classic was my favourite design. I think this is what Iron Man looks like when I first saw him. The only sad problem with that is he looks just so small and scrawny next to other Iron Man figures or any Marvel Legends figure. Actually, if I just grab, like, this Spider-Man, well, he actually fits in a lot better. To be fair, he does fit in a lot better. Well, that's not the figure I meant to pick up. But if you put this Iron Man next to this Spider-Man, something's definitely off there. There can't be a guy in a suit of armour stood next to Spider-Man like that. So if they scaled this figure up, it would still to this day be my favourite Iron Man. But his scale really let people down. I didn't even care about the big boots. I like the big boots. I love the chrome paint. Yeah, it's literally just the fact of his scale. But there you go. These two, as it happens right now, are my favourite two Iron Man figures in my collection. Yeah, this is actually one of my favourite Marvel Legends. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to beat. So, oh my... Well, I'm not doing great today, am I, guys? So I'm just going to try and get through the video as best I can now. We're on to Captain America. I have grown to really, really appreciate Captain America in the last 2 to 3 years. I always liked the guy, but I never felt like I had any real claim to like him, as I'm not American. So you can't call it patriotism. But I think I really just resonate with Steve Rogers as a guy wanting to do good. These three, okay, are my favourite Captain America figures in my collection. This one would likely changed if I got Wavy Cap, but he just sold out and I never got him, which was a shame. We'll take a quick look at him first. So this is the, and you probably know this already, otherwise, like, what are you doing here? This is the Civil War Captain America figure, and he shared a few different molds. Well, he was another few figures as well. Like, they reused this mold, is what I'm trying to fucking say, and can't, fuck's sake. Sorry, guys. But yeah, just a really, really good figure. Super awesome to pose. I really like the sleek, sort of real world design of this suit. Yeah, just really solid. I find myself playing with this Captain America a lot, actually. It's like he's been on my display since for about 4 months. Took a picture of him like 4 months ago. He's been on my display since, and he's not gonna go back on my display now because I'm probably gonna take him downstairs and play with him. Always the case, to be fair with you, and then he doesn't end up going back on the shelf for ages and ages and ages. That is a good figure to me, one that you can't put down, and he definitely fits that bill. So yeah, just moving back a minute so he don't knock any of his brothers with his shield. What can I say about this guy? He is by far, still to this day, one of the best Captain America figures you can get. We'll go in really close because it's important that I show you this. So he actually has, oh my gosh, the light's playing up. Sorry guys, 1 minute. Might work now. There we go. He actually has one of the best Steve Rogers head sculpts I have ever seen, even to this day. His shield is the perfect size. If you look on the back, he has a tab that clips onto his hand like the Captain Americas of today. But he also has like elastic straps, so you can put the shield on his back without plugging it in and having a hole exposed in the back star, which was something I never ever really appreciated. And if you look at this, guys, it's actually opposite to Spider-Man, so it's pretty funny. He's got digital scales there, and this one's got sculpted scales. But yeah, it's the way it is. I still really love this guy, though. Very important if you're a Captain America fan to have this guy. And even if you're a Marvel Legends fan, like I said, this and the Iron Man, or any of the Series 1 figures, I think it's really important to have. So we'll go to this guy, my new favourite Captain America figure. He just looks insane. You can say what you want. I might have liked him to be a bit more blue, but the fact is, you know, I remember buying this one, right, and thinking this one was really good. So when we got to this, oh man, it just blew me away. I can't decide whether I like this one more than the Iron Man, the 80 years one. All the 80 years figures, just for record, really good. Oh god, there's just like so much to like about this figure. I know it's a reused mold and stuff, but they hit it on the nail this time. Like, this is really good. So yeah, there you go. If I had to pick out of them three, as much as I love the Series 1 one, this is the Captain America to have by today's standards. And this is a great movie figure. I do love this guy quite a lot. Now, I don't have a costumed Hasbro Wolverine figure. He's proved quite elusive and is very hard to get. Saying that, let me just quickly say, it does just use the same mold as this Wolverine. This is the Weapon X one. I absolutely love this guy. Please go check out my Weapon X PCA because I'm super proud of my chamber that I made. I would really appreciate it if that video got some love, but there you go. So it is the same mold as all the other Wolverines. Maybe if I had one in a costume, that might top it, but I remember getting this guy years ago, and still to this day, he's, god damn it, like, alright, the claws, right, they've been perfected since and stuff, yeah, that's fine, but this one or the Red Hulk version, you pick one. I'm just more of a fan of the brown suit. This is just the best Wolverine head sculpt that I've ever seen on any figure. Come on. There you go. Just looks absolutely gnarly and like Wolverine should. They did veins on his arms and actually painted them. And the hair and everything. This is one of... I am not kidding you now. It's like, still to this day, you asked me to do my top 10 figures in my collection, or my top 10 Marvel Legends of all time ever, this guy's going to be on there. Because I still think to this day he's just as good as when he come out. Absolutely phenomenal figure, and I will always commend Toy Biz for this. Absolutely awesome. And the final one, guys, is Black Panther. Now, this is the figure I play with more than any of my Black Panther figures. It's just a really good articulated figure. He has the best, like, shoulder butterfly joints out of any of the Black Panther figures that I have. I think it's the only... Well, no, this guy has butterfly shoulders. They're just not... They don't work as well. But, yeah, I would have to say that this is my most played with Black Panther for photos and stuff. He's just really, really cool. From the M'Baku wave, or he was re-released in the United Kingdom just on like a retro sort of card. It wasn't retro, but it was in that style. So I quickly just wanted to talk about him and put him away quick. Because, right, now, this is the hardest one. Based on what you get in the package with these guys. Well, I don't know, because I got this guy loose, but... you get just so much. I think this is one of the best Marvel Legends ever released just because of how much you get in the package, okay? And if you have the first Civil War movie Black Panther, use that head sculpt for your comic Black Panther. It works really, really well. But yeah, just if you've got this figure, you know how much he came with in the package and stuff. Looks really good. His cape looks really good. But again, it's a soft sculpt compared to this. Now, oh my god. Like, this is... Forgive me for saying this, because this is probably based on someone's artwork, and I feel really disrespectful, but this is what I imagine Todd McFarlane's Black Panther would look like. This is the main talking point of the Black Panther figures, because it's always been one of my favourites. I originally got into Black Panther because I thought he looked like Batman. I thought he was really cool, but then when I actually read up on his lore and stuff, I really, really got into him big time. This is before the movies come out, and it was like a hype train. But look at the purple shading on this guy. It just looks insane. If you don't own this figure, then you don't know how much you can actually appreciate it, but he just looks absolutely amazing. That paint is everywhere. The sculpt is everywhere. Like, this action figure, guys, has a soul. I have a soul. Yeah, no, it has a soul. And then look at her. Like, that would fool me into thinking it was real leather. And look how pliable it is. Absolutely phenomenal figure. These are all phenomenal figures, I just want to say, for the record. And hopefully today you've had a good look at them, and you can appreciate both Hasbro and Toy Biz's. Oh no, he just took a head dive. Hopefully you can appreciate both anyway, and maybe, hopefully, even go and pick yourself some Toy Biz figures up, because they're well worth it. Alright guys, I'm going to end it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go now. Peace out. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good day. Like and subscribe.